What's up everyone, John here. Got a new topic video for you guys today. 5 reasons why vegans are weak and skinny. So the reasons that I'm gonna mention is not, specifically because a person is vegan or not. It can be applied to meat eaters as well. But for this video in particular, I'm gonna focus on vegans because they have much more of a stronger stereotype in terms of being weak and skinny. So the first reason why most vegans are skinny is going to be the most obvious one, and that is strength training. Not enough vegans do enough strength training. Actually, almost no one does. If you go out in the streets and ask 100 people if they work out or not in the gym, I suppose maybe 4 or 5 will say yes. Now how many of those 3 or 4 people will be vegan? Most likely 0. So already the statistics are skewed against people who are vegan in terms of being well built and stuff. Now vegans in general are more health conscious and healthier in general, and choose healthier foods and therefore stay slimmer. But unfortunately in today's society and in the modern world, the heavier the better. And that extra weight is not muscle mass, it's actually body fat, which is obviously not a sign of health. So just because someone weighs more and looks fitter because they have more size on them doesn't necessarily mean that they are healthier. We often mistake appearance for health, and when we see vegans who are really skinny, we just think of them as frail and weak, when in reality they could be perfectly healthy in all sorts of ways. So that is why most vegans are weak, because they don't do strength training, and I do recommend and encourage everyone to do so, because resistance training, whether you're doing it in the gym or doing bodyweight exercises, is going to be extremely important for your health. It increases bone density, fat-free mass, which is just muscle mass without the extra fat gain, and also the strength of connective tissues, which is really important and gets more important as you age. So it's not enough just to be healthy and eat a healthy diet. You gotta work out in the gym, build some muscle mass, because that is the only way that society is going to look at you and think that you are healthy. Reason number 2 is going to be calories. So calories are extremely important. You have to eat enough to be able to put on muscle mass, get stronger. Without eating enough food, it doesn't matter if you train, you're not going to be able to progress in the gym, become stronger, and put on muscle mass. This doesn't mean that you have to go on a dirty bulk, buy ice creams and pizzas and smash in 5,000 calories every single day. Everyone has a different maintenance level, or how many calories you need to maintain your body weight. It's different for everyone, and there are loads of different things that affect that number for each individual person. So obviously you have to do a little bit of self-experimentation, see how you do on 2,000 calories first, and then increase gradually, see how your weight changes until you find a sweet spot where you're kind of maintaining your weight, or maximum getting a tiny little bit of weight every 2 weeks or so. But it should be minimal, because your body just can't absorb all those extra calories and put them into muscle. It doesn't work that way. The rest is going to be converted into fat. So I always recommend people not to overdo on the calories, but eating enough is going to be vital. A lot of people who are plant-based, especially in areas where you don't have access to vegan junk food, they eat very clean diets. A lot of grains, legumes, loads of vegetables and fruits, and obviously those are a little bit less caloric dense, and therefore it's a little bit harder for them to eat enough calories in order to grow. So if you're a person who struggles to get enough calories in, what can you do to help you consume more calories without feeling full all the time? So the trick will be to increase the caloric density of the foods that you're eating. So instead of choosing to eat a head of broccoli, choose to eat rice and beans or something instead. So a bit less of vegetables and low calorie foods, and a little bit more carb-rich foods. Or if you're really struggling with getting calories in, you should go for fat sources, so nuts, seeds, avocados, that kind of stuff. It's really going to help you boost your caloric intake. Another good thing to do to increase your calories is blend things up, make huge smoothies with oats, dates, almond milk, even desiccated coconut and peanut butter. If you're having a very tough time putting on weight, it's okay to use some oil into your diet. Some people really need a lot of calories. I'm talking like 4,000 calories in order to put on some weight, and some people only need about 2,000 or even less. So it really depends on the person, but it's really important that you get your calories in. This does require some work on your behalf, unless you have a coach or something. Not to plug my own services here, but if you need someone to help you with all that stuff, you can always hire an online coach. Moving on to reason number 3, eating disorders. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard in the news about some sort of vegan who's been hospitalized for having anorexia and restricting their diet until they almost die. And unfortunately the media loves those kind of stories. Now a lot of people don't believe that stuff and understand that it's more because of the actual people doing it wrong than the diet itself, because a plant-based diet can mean anything. You can be an unhealthy junk food vegan, or you can be a very healthy whole food plant-based vegan. So it really depends, and you can't just throw labels out there. But let me explain why eating disorders and you know, veganism is linked. So a lot of people who have eating disorders, they will choose you know, versions of the plant-based diet, like for example a raw vegan diet. And the reason why they choose it is not because they think it's the healthiest one, it's because they want to lose weight as fast as possible. Even if a raw vegan diet can be healthy by including, you know, healthy fat sources like nuts, seeds, avocados, they will avoid that because they don't want to get calories in. So obviously, no matter what diet these people choose to lose weight, it doesn't represent the actual real diet that you're supposed to follow in order to be healthy. And a lot of people who are very skeptical and negative towards plant-based eating love pointing fingers at these kind of examples and pretend that plant-based eating just promotes eating disorders. Any kind of diet that has something to do with restriction is not going to be a good one. Obviously, we should avoid unhealthy foods, but you know, you shouldn't restrict something because of its caloric content. If you start thinking like that, you may end up developing some sort of eating disorder. So don't focus on restriction, focus on abundance and getting in as much healthy food as possible. Reason number 4 is going to be protein. It's not because of the actual protein, it's because of what is attached to protein. So if you're not a vegan, oftentimes the protein that you're eating will be attached to fat, which increases the caloric content of the protein-rich meal that you're consuming, leading to more, you know, fat gain, weight gain, or even muscle gain, depending on, you know, the rest of the diet. So a lot of times vegans will be skinnier and weaker because they're not consuming enough protein, which means they're not consuming enough calories. So this isn't so much of a protein problem at all, it's about a caloric problem again. On average, vegans do eat less protein than the meat eaters do, but that is a good thing because excess amounts of protein in your system has been linked to loads of health consequences. Actually, I stumbled across a study, a Dutch study, that was conducted on several thousand infants. I'm gonna link the study in the description box so you can check it out yourself. But the study just highlights that society is so obsessed with protein that even infants are getting 4 times as much protein as they actually need. So they need about, you know, under 10 grams of protein per day, and they're averaging about 40, which puts these kids at, you know, a higher risk of developing diseases early on in their lives, like diabetes. And that goes for adults as well. Loads of adults are consuming way too much protein, and like I said before, it's attached to saturated fat, cholesterol. If it's plant-based, it's a lot healthier because it doesn't have all that saturated fat and cholesterol attached to it. But of course, you can get too much protein on a vegan diet as well. It's just not going to be as harmful because it's not going to have, you know, antibiotic residue, hormones, and loads of different toxins that can be found in meat. You know, a lot of people who are eating, you know, a ton of meat and a ton of protein are actually getting, you know, more growth factor into the system. So they release more IGF-1, which is, you know, an anabolic hormone, which makes them grow faster. So I remember switching from a high school here in Europe to a high school in the US, and I was shocked about how old the people looked. You know, 17, 18-year-olds were looking like they were 30 with full beards, big muscles, and that is because of all the crap that they're eating along with the protein and other kinds of processed foods. That does definitely not mean that you can't get big as a vegan. It means it will probably take a little bit longer, but you'll be much healthier in the end. And in terms of potential, there really is no difference on what you can achieve eating meat and being vegan. You should opt for foods higher in protein. So that is grains like you know, oatmeal, brown rice, quinoa, barley, buckwheat, that kind of stuff. Legumes like lentils is a very good one. All kinds of beans, so black beans, pinto beans, soybeans, tofu, tempeh, that kind of stuff. Even vegetables like, you know, spinach, broccoli, mushrooms. Okay, reason number 5, cardio. A huge amount of people who are vegan and are health conscious choose cardio over lifting weights, and that is why a lot of them, you know, appear to be a little bit, you know, skinnier. If you're doing a lot of cardio, yes, it's going to benefit your health, it's going to be great, but obviously, you know, you're not allowing your body to build muscle while doing really long, intense cardio sessions like running for 1.5 hours or 2 hours, that kind of stuff. It is possible, but it does require you to eat so much more because doing those long cardio sessions will burn a lot of calories. So this does not mean that you shouldn't do cardio. I personally recommend everyone to do a little bit of cardio. I really enjoy high intensity interval training where, you know, you go at 100% for 30 seconds and then you walk for 30 seconds and you sprint again for 30 seconds, that kind of stuff for 15 minutes. Keep it short and intense. These short duration cardio sessions will not, you know, result in muscle loss at all. Now even longer cardio sessions will not affect muscle gains. I personally do jog as well. I run for about 50 minutes, sometimes even 1 hour, but I keep the intensity real low. So make sure to do some sort of daily activity. It's not enough just to lift weights in the gym. You have to go for, light walks, just anything. Walking is one of the most underrated, forms of exercises out there. Try to walk about 1 hour a day and multitask it with something else. Maybe listen to a book or be on a conference call or something. Do whatever needs to be done to just get you outside, get you moving, because cardio is very important for heart health, and we all want to stay around for a long time and not get a heart attack in our 50s. So stay active. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed these 5 reasons why vegans are weak and skinny. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. It will mean a lot to me. I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.